Hello followers and welcome back to Vanilla Gogurt, and in today's episode we're going to be back on the plot here after a couple of episodes doing multiplayer mayhem, and I'm going to be putting together my perimeter wall for a couple of reasons. The first is because it needs doing anyway, and the second is because I keep getting creepers go and blow up my house, and it's beginning to get a little tiring, I have to say. The other day Gogurt came by and he looked at my house, and this happened. Sorry, a creeper jumped me as I was checking out your place. Didn't know how it went back together, so I left this. I put the drops in the nearby chest. Sorry, bud, Gogurt. That's perfectly fine. I'm not bothered about it. It's just that I need to address the problem, really, of unwanted additions coming onto my plot. So we're going to have to get that resolved. Now, I'm on with Hal at the moment. He just wants me to sleep, so I'll just jump into bed. He's building in the village at the moment, so he probably needs it to be daytime, and so do I. To be honest, I could do with it being daytime. Now, between this and the last episode, I died again. As you can see, I've got all new tools, which is not all that great, to be honest. I died in probably the worst way yet. I actually managed to somehow die by ender pearling across into Red's blast mine, and then I couldn't get out. Now, I tried to ender pearl onto the wall and I didn't have my featherfall boots on, so I ended up dying several times, but you would think I would get my stuff back, right? No problem. You'd think I would get my stuff back, but there was some major lag going on amongst other things, and I couldn't find it in time. And I kept dying, so in the end I ended up losing all that stuff, which was not ideal. Thankfully, though, my armor I actually did keep in my ender chest because it was all busted out. But I did lose my sword, but I have a new sharpness 3 knockback 2 sword, and I have the same pick I had before for the worker pick. I've just had to remake it and re-enchant it. I'm going to leave looting off it this time. I don't really need looting on my sword, and it will bring the cost down a little bit when repairing it. I would probably, I mean, I could put looting on it, but I don't need it for the moment. I would rather make a separate sword for that. So, yeah, as I say, just me and Hal on at the moment. He's having some internet problems or something along those lines, so he's just going to be doing a bit of building and whatnot while he's waiting for that to get sorted out. So we're going to build our perimeter wall, and we're going to use brick blocks. Now, I chose to use bricks because it kind of matches the whole luxury theme that we've got going on this plot, which is really good news. I spent a while, including last episode, collecting clay for this specific purpose, so this should be pretty good, I have to say. Now, old Fret's cabin here is probably going to have to get tore down now because it's just going to get in the way, to be absolutely honest. And I'm probably going to decorate this out more over time. It's just going to be a basic perimeter wall for right now. That is a tall wall, I have to say. I was going to make it 3 high, but somehow we've managed to make it 4 high. Oh, come on, that wasn't fair. It snuck up on me. That pretty much sums up my day, though, to be fair. Dying in the stupidest ways possible, now being blown up and having my armor wrecked. That pretty much sums up my day. Oh dear. Well, I'll fix that later. I have the things to do it, so we'll do that a little later. There we are. So, yeah, we only want this wall to be 3 high, and I know what's happened here. It's become 4 high by magic, really, as we've gone down a layer. We want this to be 3 high only. So let's just do this to where the it's kind of hard to tell. I think it's right here is where it becomes a bit lower, so we want to do that if possible. Now, where's the next torch? I don't know. I do leave a gap of 1, 2, 3. I leave a gap of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need to go here and kind of repeat the pattern, except for down here where we're going to have a gate. Now, that's wrecked. That's never good either, but there we are. I just had a really bad day at the office today, I have to say. Trying to record it and make the best of it, to be honest. So here is where we need to go up 4 levels now instead. Now this is going to look a little weird, isn't it, with iron bars and everything, but hopefully we can get something sorted out with that and it won't look too terribly bad. Now the cave in the box is going to stop where it is. I don't have any plans to really move that. There's no point to me moving that. But now we can put our blocks here. Depending on how much more it is, I may just straighten the whole wall out, depending on how many more resources it requires. But we'll probably do that later down the line. For right now, it's just about getting a wall up that's going to serve a good function. I do have more clay if I need it. I've got plenty of backup clay, so that shouldn't be an issue too much either. That shouldn't be too much of an issue is what I'm trying to say. And I'm going to leave a gap of 3, I think. There we are. And we're going to put this up, and this is going to be 3 high. And I'm going to put that there then. And, well, that means that that's going to have to go up 1 as well. And we're going to remove this. Just this little bit right here. And then I'll probably replace that with something else a little later so that we have a more defined entrance to my plot. It also means I can repair that now too. So now we need to get our iron bars and our half slabs to kind of finish this off. I have plenty of those. That should give me enough to make 32 iron bars. Yep, and I have these half slabs. And that didn't use too many bricks at all. So I'm impressed with that. But I don't want to go ahead and start trying to straighten the whole wall out, because if I try and do that, then there's going to be problems, no doubt. And I'm thinking that above I may want to connect these like so. So this is kind of the idea I'm going for at the moment. I'm going to see what it looks like in a moment, and we're going to see how good it looks and whether it would be worth it to straighten it all out. Why is that like that? That shouldn't be like that. This is where it gets a little weird, isn't it? That's meant to be like that, and then we're going to have this iron bar on its own. So part of me wants to just straighten the whole thing out and just make it even and clean. And let's just see what it looks like from down below. That's just smashed. Actually, I think that, yeah, see this is what I'm going for, but this just looks messed up. So I'm thinking I'm gonna just make it the same height the whole way. I guess that sign could have been taken down anyway, so it's not all bad. We want to go up a little bit then here and up here. So we can put that like that. And then I'm going to put this along here. Now this is going to become a really tall wall if I'm not careful. And it's going to end up looking kind of silly, so I'm not totally convinced at the moment. I'm just going to try it and see what it looks like. I'm going to just take this down for the moment. A tall wall isn't too bad. It's just when it gets really tall that it can become a bit ugly looking, and I don't really want that. So we'll just have to have a think about how that's really going to run for the moment. There we are. Let me go up here. I'm going to go like this until we reach this. So how are we looking now? See this? It looks really tall here. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, it could look worse. But I don't want it to start and look kind of silly, if that makes sense. I see now this, obviously this bit's going to look silly, but I don't know. I'm going to have to, definitely going to have to play around with this for a little while to see if I can get something I really, really like. Because if not, we could have a very ugly looking wall, let's say the very least. So So let me just try this, and I'm going to bring it all the way to, say, here. See, now here, I've got to go to, yeah, this height, and then put the slab on. And now I've got to try and fill that without making it look kind of ridiculous, really. And also, this is going to be a lot more on resources than probably I had initially expected. So that could be another problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where this slab needs to go. And we're only going to have 3 here then, which... Oh yeah, I know. I did 3 on the end. I've just done it in the inverse order. We want that, like so. Yeah, we want that, and then the iron bars need to run... Oops. We want the iron bars to run like this, and then put that in like that. Now everything's all level and looking a bit neater. And if I put that like that, and then fill this with the bricks, and then put that there. Let me just jump into this vine. See, to me that now looks a little too tall. It looks kind of freakishly tall. I don't know, it kind of... Oh, I'll be right back, guys. There we go. So, sorry about that, guys. The server just went down temporarily, but I was about to go and do one of those be right backs anyway, so I just kind of skipped that little bit. There was no point me recording for 15 seconds, really. So, I have been working on the wall. I spoke with Hal, who, as many of you know by now, is a fantastic builder, and he took a look at my wall. I didn't feel it was quite right, and he came up with a pretty neat idea, and that was to use the pine logs in the design, and it really does make it look a lot better. It breaks it up, I find, and we've got this. So MrMFretwell's plot, we have a gate here now, and this wall runs all the way around my plot. I also cleared some of the land out here with permission from Hal, so that we can actually see my house from other parts of spawn, so Cracker Hill, over where the coal chunks are, and up there where Hal's house is, so it's not so hidden all the time. Now, the very next thing I need to do is actually finish up the home itself, because then I can move Fret's cabin out of the way, and I'm probably going to then start messing around with the trees and whatnot that's on this plot. So I also want to get some farms incorporated. I need to kind of sort a bunch of things out to really finish the plot off. But now, this was a big improvement. It looks a lot better. It looks a lot more finished. And this goes all the way around from here, around to the top, and then down here. So if we also just jump over and just take a quick look from this side, nobody really uses this part very much, to be honest. There's no plots behind mine, but there may be in the future, so we do want to keep it kind of neat looking. Although I highly doubt anybody would really want that for their plot, but there we go. No doubt maybe somebody wants to do something with the hill or whatever, like Davy Cracker does with his, so who knows. But either way, I think that this is pretty darn good now. I think I really got the style that I was looking for, and I had pine wood, so I could just integrate that nicely. So I hope you like the wall. Big thanks to Hal for helping me out with it and getting the idea of the pine wood. Certainly goes well with the brick, I find. So as I say, the very next thing I need to do is kind of finish the house, which is probably what we'll do in the next episode. I'll come back with all the quartz I need and we'll finish it off and patch up the hole where Gogurt blew it up. Hopefully we won't have any more of that shenanigans anymore now that we actually have a proper wall up around this place and I've lit things up better. So that's going to be the next objective, and then after that we'll probably look at kind of tidying this area up, moving Fret's cabin, and so forth. This right here is going to stay, as I say, the cave in a box. I want to keep that, but it may, this bit right here may change as I build a pathway up there, or I might make the pathway swoop like that. That might be a cool way of doing it too. And then we could kind of, I want to put some sort of lake down there, I think, or pond, something along those lines. And I'm thinking of maybe turning the top of the cave in a box into a swimming pool, but I don't know on that one yet. That might be a bit too far-fetched. I don't know. But that's, as I say, going to be the very next job, is to finish the home and then tidy up this particular area. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Probably a bit shorter than usual, but I didn't feel it was perhaps as necessary to include me building a wall, and I was chatting with Hal at the same time as I was doing it, getting ideas, so I couldn't really time-lapse it. So I hope you don't mind. I think that just seeing the end product should be good enough. Let's just, as we go, take a look from Cracker Hill. This is what I call it now. So this is going to be Eduardo's plot, and Eduardo's is going to live in a giant tree apparently, so I hope that that doesn't overshadow my home at the back there, but I'm sure he'll come up with something that'll suit everybody. Otherwise the only way you'll be able to see it is if you're stood over here, I think. You can just see mine kind of tucked away in the back there. That tree, I'm going to move that tree because it just is in the way. I'm going to probably strip most of the jungle trees out of there and just stick to birch trees. I like them a lot more when it comes to actually being able to build something. And use trees as decoration. I find birch is typically better. I don't use oak because oak has a tendency to grow into the giant trees. The jungle trees can grow kind of tall, so I'm not such a big fan of those particularly either. But either spruce or pine is probably what I'll end up... sorry, spruce or birch is what I'm going to end up putting there. Spruce and pine are the same thing, at least in this game anyway. So I think that's going to be just about it from me today, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next episode, when the aim will be to completely wrap up that house and see it completely finished, so that we can then move on to some other new projects. Particularly with what's been coming out of Mojang lately, it seems that the new snapshot is not going to be too far away. So I would like to kind of have this pretty much wrapped up by the time 1.7 gets going into full flow, so that I can then move out and have my base hopefully in one of the new biomes. That's kind of the aim really. I will start work on my nether tunnel once I've finished this, but even that won't take that long. We might only spend maybe an episode on that or so, and then I'll probably from there move on and move out to my actual base. And of course then comes the fun, the pranking and everything else. There may be more of those going on as well. There's always that to look forward to. Both me getting pranked and me pranking people. And in addition to that, there'll probably be some Vanilla Gogurt PvP, which I'm looking into doing some more of with the guys and so forth. So lots of Vanilla Gogurt stuff coming down the line, that's for sure. Been loving my time here. I've been on almost a month now. I will have been online over a month by the time you see this video. So big thanks to everyone who's been so kind and supportive and been very nice since I've been on here, and I really like it. So long may it continue. This wall signifies the start of something big. I really like that gate for some reason. I don't know why, I just really like that. But there we go. I did think about tearing Fret's cabin down, but I'm just going to move it for nostalgia reasons. I just want to put it somewhere else. Probably put it maybe somewhere kind of away from that. It may still be in that general area, but I might just move it a little bit, just so that it's not stuck against the walls like it is now. I may be tempted to just move that ever so slightly. But that again is something that we'll look into doing a little later. And I want to keep all these ocelots out of my house. It's not what I really want to see. But we'll just take a quick view from what will eventually be the window. You can see that I can still see out over Spawn Town. Again, this tree has been a bit of a problem here. This side is kind of not as good. I get a view here, but here, not so much. We may do something like put a little garden at the back of this, just to give us something to look at. So that will be something that I will consider later down the line. But that tree definitely right there needs to go. It's just in the way. So that's going to be something that I'm going to look into getting rid of, probably for the next episode. And as well as that, I got permission, as I say, to clear this area out, and I think I'm going to build a nether wart farm here for everybody to use. All it's going to be is probably just a basic farm where you just push the button and the water will push it down, and it will be collected at the end somewhere down here where this well is, and then you'll be able to just replant it as you see fit, and we'll have lots and lots of nether wart for everyone, particularly new players. So yep, that's going to be just about it from me today, guys. I think I've said everything that I wanted to say now, so I hope that you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you next time. So until then, see you later, and have a good day.